Hey, it's Bob Nagin, and in this episode of Real Retail TV, we're going to explore 3 reasons you lose customers and what you can do about it. So before we begin, let's start with this premise. And the premise is expectations are up, loyalty is down. Expectations are up, loyalty is down. And so what we want to explore here is how do we meet expectations and at the same time make our customers more loyal? And one of the ways to think about growing your business is to think about your customers all sitting or all residing in a bucket. And one of the challenges that you have as a retailer is to plug the holes in the bucket. How do you keep your customers from leaving, right? There's 3 ways to grow your business. I've said this many, many, many times. I learned this from my mentor, Jay Abraham. Get new customers, increase the average ticket, and then get more transactions per customer. Get your customer to be more loyal. So when you get a new customer into the bucket, you want to keep them in the bucket. You don't want to have the holes that allow them to get away, to allow them to go to the big box stores, the online brands, Amazon. You want to keep your customers loyal. But I see 3 mistakes being made. I see a lot of mistakes being made, but 3 that I want to talk about here. And the first mistake I see being made is that retailers don't focus on giving their customers a great experience. Think about your experience. How many times have you gone into a store and the store looks great? Clearly someone has spent a lot of money on branding, on a store build out, the merchandise. It's a good looking store, but then the team is indifferent. Maybe they don't come out from behind the counter. Maybe they don't know what they're doing. But Michael LaBouffe wrote a book back in the 80s or early 90s called Customers for Life. And this statistic comes from this book. And even though the book is really, really old, I want to share with you that I think that this statistic is more relevant now than it was then. And the statistic is 67% of people leave because of perceived indifference. Say that again. 67% of your customers who leave because of perceived indifference. They think you don't care. Now, you as the owner can care intensely. When you are out on the floor, you can give your customers that amazing experience that you want all of your customers to get. But if you don't train your people, if you don't have great people on your team who know what they're doing, who are empowered to give your customers that great kind of experience, they're going to go away. So how do you counteract that? You counteract that by finding great people, training them correctly, engaging them, empowering them, building a culture. And I know some of you are going, you don't know, Bob, I can't find enough people. And the answer is yes. I'm going to talk about that in the second reason. But yes, people are there. People want to work. You just need to know how to find them, train them, and create that culture. So number 1 is an indifferent experience. Number 2 is convenience. One of the disturbing trends I see in independent retail and restaurants is this idea of I don't have to keep customer-friendly store hours. I just shopped at a store recently, and they also provide service, and that's what I needed. And I know this merchant, so I wanted to support them. But their store hours are Tuesday through Friday, I think it's 11 to 5, Saturday 11 to 2, closed Sunday and Monday. So this merchant is essentially giving his customers who have a job 4 hours a week to shop with him. Think about that. So if you're closed on Sunday, you're missing out on 52 days a year. Basically, you're missing out on 2 months of business. If you close at 5 o'clock, anybody who has a job either has to go out of their way to get into your store or they have to wait to the weekend. Again, convenience. You have to make it easy for them to shop with you. Now, here's the excuse that I'm hearing. The excuse that I'm hearing is, I can't find good people. I can't keep good people. Nobody wants to work. And I'm going to just call BS on that excuse, because think about it. Unemployment is at an all-time low, which means that there are lots of people working. You just haven't learned how to attract good people and keep good people. This is a skill. It's the skill of recruiting. It's the skill of training. It's the skill of empowerment and engagement. But for every person I hear complaining, I also see people who are getting really, really serious about becoming better managers, better leaders, building a better culture, and then you're able to keep those store hours. Now, I want to address one more thing real quickly here. A lot of people who are cutting down on their store hours are justifying it by saying, I need the time off. I need a work-life balance. And here's what I want to say to that. I just want to say, bullshit. Here's the scoop, ladies and gentlemen. If you know how to find and keep good people, if you know how to run a business that doesn't run you, if you're a skilled enough merchant, you don't need to be there. You can find enough people to keep customer-friendly hours and keep your customers happy. Plug that hole in the bucket. Now, I know some of you are going, well, wait a second. When I decided to close for a couple of days, my customers supported me. And I want to say that I believe that that is a great example of confirmation bias. Because while some of your customers may support you, a lot of your customers are just going to go away. And I'm not trying to be scoldy here. I'm just trying to point out that it's too competitive out there, that you have to make it easy for your customers to shop with you. And if you do not have customer-friendly store hours, you're letting your customers go online. You're letting your customers go to the big box store. You're letting your customers go someplace else. And the minute they start going someplace else is the minute you start to lose them. So I care about your success. I don't want you to fall into the trap of thinking that somehow thinking that this is all right. Okay? So the third reason, and I call it annoying stuff. Annoying stuff is things like really dirty windows, icy sidewalks, trashy parking lots, or just the kind of thing that your customers don't want or need. Again, expectations are up, loyalty is down. I'll share one quick example of an annoyance. I was just in Las Vegas speaking at the gift show there, had a wonderful time. The client put me up at the Vdara. Lovely, lovely property. I've stayed there a couple of times before COVID. Always, you know, the people were great, the room was great, the facility was great, everything about the experience was great. And then I get up in the morning to make a cup of coffee, you know, get my day going, and they don't have in-room coffee. So I had to put on my clothes, go downstairs, get coffee. You know, again, it's not a super big deal, but it was annoying as can be, right? My morning routine is kind of precious to me. I shouldn't have had to do that. Now, it could be argued that some bean counter was saying, hey, we can save $4 a night, $4 a stay by eliminating in-room coffee. But guess what? I mean, I stayed there 2 nights. I spent an extra $153 on incidentals and meals and stuff at the Vdara. And the next time I go to Vegas, which is going to be in a couple weeks, I am going to look around, shop around, and find a hotel that has in-room coffee. I don't need the annoyance. So while they may be penny wise, they were being dollar foolish. And I see this mistake being made by independent retailers all the time. So again, I'm not trying to be scoldy. I know I'm a little bit finger wagging. I know that, but I care about your success. And what I really wanted to point this out is if you are making these mistakes, I want you to recognize that it's not all right. It's not justifiable. Think about what I just shared with you. The final thing that I want to say is it's your decision. So even though I challenged you on, say, store hours, it's your decision. You're the entrepreneur. But the other thing I want to say is if you're not doing everything you can to keep your customers close, to keep your customers loyal, you also sort of lose the right to complain when business isn't everything you know it could and should be. So that's my challenge to you. And I know I came on a little strong. And so if you agree with me, I would love to hear your comments. If you don't agree with me, by all means, put the comments down below. I do not expect you to agree with me all the time. My job here is not to make you feel good. My job here is to make you think about your business so that you can build the best business you possibly can. So I hope you found it helpful, everybody. I'm Bob Nagin, and we'll see you next week.